short stories, essays, and rants cleverly disguised as speeches. In 2011, Laura won the prestigious John Preston Short Fiction Award from the National Leather Association for her short story, That's Harsh, which appears in the ebook edition of The Slave. In addition, she is the co-author with her wife Karen of a ritually correct leather Passover Seder, Abadim Chayanu, Once We Were Slaves. Laura travels from New York quite a bit to share time with her wife Karen and her daddy Kim Attica when she is not teaching, reading, and ranting somewhere on the kink circuit. She is currently working on book 6 of the MP series, a mystery, several anthologies, and other projects. She is very busy, but she is here tonight. Let's welcome her to our stage.
I am not singing. I am grateful for singers, but I don't sing. I am going to read you an excerpt from That's Harsh, the story that won the John Preston Award last year. When I started re-releasing my marketplace books, which are books of sadomasochism, in case anyone doesn't know that. I write kinky sex. Sick, disgusting, violent, kinky sex. About people who... That's my wife. About people who give up their wills and get sold into bondage to other people. And naturally, I can't just write normal kinky sex. I have to fuck it up further. For example, in this particular story, the central woman, who is bisexual, has been sold to an all-gay male household. They don't know what to do with her. They're actually kind of creeped out by her. They don't want her lady parts at their parties, because if her lady parts are out, the men will not hunt, their spears will break, and they won't be able to get off. So they forcibly cross-dress this poor woman as a boy, stuff a dick in her pants, and turn her into a bootblack. You gotta feed this scrawny-ass bitch some vitamins or something, the man in Muscle Dog's chair said, as he eased his way in comfortably. Robin almost panicked before she realized that in this case, bitch was derogatory for more than the usual reasons. Give him some fucking protein drinks or something, weightlifting. Christ, he's got nothing there, the little faggot. Muscle Dog laughed and nodded. We're sure working on it, master. But Rob here, he's stronger than he looks. Oh yeah? The man, bearded and scholarly looking, despite wearing nothing but a rubber vest and a jockstrap, peered down at Robin and shrugged. All right, get his skinny ass over here. Let's see how strong he really is. He lifted his feet and pointed, and Muscle Dog grabbed Robin by the shirt and pulled her over. What? Robin started to ask, but Muscle Dog merely shoved her down on her hands and knees in front of the chair between the footrests. One heavy boot came down on her back, resting on her left shoulder, and the other settled on her right. Instantly, Muscle Dog knelt over her ass, his sculpted legs on either side of her, as he leaned in to start polishing boots. Robin gasped and planted her arms firmly against the grass. Stronger than she looked. She didn't know if she could make it through the cleaning process, let alone the polishing. Indeed, her arms trembled as Muscle Dog rubbed and buffed, and the man in the chair dug the heels of his boots into her back. The vest she was wearing, the shirt, and the compression garment tying back her tits underneath seemed to do nothing to pad her against the pressure of his boot heels, and she groaned and struggled to keep in place. This, she thought, is yet another thing that is much hotter in books than in real life. Being used as a footrest hurts. But then, to her amazement, she realized she wasn't exactly right. It was hot. It was amazingly hot. With her head ducked down under the legs of one man, another man straddling her body, those wonderful smells of leather and sex and penises and cum surrounding her body, the casual disregard for her feelings, and even her usefulness. Oh my God, this was one of the hottest fucking things she'd ever done in her entire life. She braced her arms and dug her fingers into the grass, struggling to keep still while she was used as a mere surface upon which to clean boots. Perhaps it was the novelty. Perhaps it was the sight of Muscle Dog's huge, muscular ass over Robin's relatively tiny, rounded, and completely clothed one, but before long, they had a crowd of voyeurs. One man brought over a flogger and swiped it at Muscle Dog's ass, and when the tail smacked Robin as well, hey, it was hardly his fault, was it? There was much laughter to accompany this illicit use of the off-limits boot slave, and Robin tried desperately not to work her hips backward for more of that sweet thumping pressure. Muscle Dog, however, had no such compunction. He worked his ass back and forth with vigor and glee, rubbing his cock up against Robin's lower back between the shirt and the compression vest. "Hey, that's more action than the little faggot's got all day," barked one spectator. "Poor thing, bet he wishes he had a hard cock up that tiny little bubble butt." Yes, I do, Robin thought. "Yes, I really, really do. I would like a hard cock up my bubble butt, please." She said nothing. "Yeah, well, we can fuck the stud, so why's he wasting time polishing boots?" "'Cause they're my fucking boots, and I want him to polish my boots," cried the man in the chair. But his friends argued and pleaded. Two started chanting, "Fuck the stud! Fuck the stud!" And Robin felt Muscle Dog being jerked away from her back. Then she was grabbed by the bondage belt and pulled back, while Muscle Dog was ordered to take down the boot rests so he could kneel sideways in front of the man in the chair. The man in the chair pounded his boots down onto the slave's broad back, and Robin was thrust forward to take up the brushes and the rags, as men knelt down on the grass on both ends of her brother slave. Condoms were produced, slid onto engorged cocks, and the cocks were shoved into Muscle Dog from each end. His back arched up as he took them. The furry man in the chair leaned back and chuckled. "Well, okay," he admitted. "That's a nice view." The two men fucking Muscle Dog gave each other a high five over him, a maneuver known as the Eiffel Tower, and began to mingle with the energy and passion of men who got what they wanted after a very brief struggle. Even temporary denial could be a turn-on, and as for Robin, her first instinct was correct, to get back to work. She dusted the grass and the dirt from her hands and grabbed a brush and realized that without the narrow places upon which to rest boots, she'd have to be careful not to knock against Muscle Dog's back and smear the products all over him. On the other hand, she reconsidered, maybe he'd like that. Then in the next moment, she realized the hottest man she'd ever seen, all muscle and guts and giant cock, was being fucked from both ends right there in front of her, and it was the hottest fucking thing she ever saw in her entire life. The man in front was long and curved, and his dick speared Muscle Dog's mouth in a slow arc, capped with the slave bracing himself whenever the man's balls banged against his chin. The one fucking his ass was less aesthetically pleasing in his motions. He was plowing Muscle Dog with a mindless fury, slapping his ass and thighs with no sense of rhythm or artistry whatsoever. The savagery of the ass pounding was as much of a turn-on for Robin as the slow and steady mouth fucking. Taken together, they made her drop the brush in her hand. Masculine laughter rose as she nervously gathered her supplies and tried desperately, in the middle of an orgy, to deliver a passable boot shine. You can get the rest of that story for 99 cents at circlet.com.